Want to know the best way to use credit cards in order to achieve FIRE, financial independence, retire early, and basically become financially free so that you are not so stressed about money? Well, that's what I'm sharing with you in today's video. We are discussing how to best utilize credit cards so that they can actually help you achieve financial freedom instead of put you in a lot of debt. I'm also sharing my personal favorite credit card right now and the pros and cons of that. I am Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and I achieved financial freedom at age 38. So if you are looking to achieve financial freedom at a young age as well, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and we are going to dive right in. I know there's a lot of talk about how bad credit cards are and how much debt people get into because of credit cards, and that you should stay away from them completely. But that is not always the case. If you use them properly, they can actually help you achieve financial freedom sooner. That is what happened for me. I've been using my credit cards for a really long time now and have never paid credit card interest and was still able to become financially free at a young age. And before I go any further, the secret to using credit cards is having self-control. There needs to be some self-control or some self-discipline when using credit cards, so that you don't max out your credit cards and have a ton of debt and pay a ton of credit card interest. So if you do have some self-control, then let's talk about the benefits of using credit cards. And in talking about the benefits of credit cards, we have to first understand how credit cards work. So we are just going to talk about this very briefly. Essentially, you apply for a credit card, get approved, they send you one in the mail, and then you're able to use that card at different stores that allow credit card purchases. And with that credit card, they also give you a limit that you can put on your credit card. So it could be maybe $500 up to like $10,000. It varies greatly. But they'll give you some sort of limit, and you're not supposed to go over that credit card limit. You will also be assigned a statement closing date each month, and this will be the same day each month, but they allow you to make purchases, let's say from the 16th of the month until the 15th of the next month. So your statement closing date would be the 15th of February if it was going into February. Once that statement closing date has happened, then they will send you a bill and say, okay, your balance, your statement balance from those particular days, the 16th to the 15th, is this amount, and then they will give you a minimum payment amount. And then they give you a due date that you need to either pay that balance in full or at least pay your minimum payment due. And if you pay the statement balance in full by the due date they give you, then you do not pay any interest on your credit card. But if you're only making that minimum payment, then you'll pay whatever the credit card interest rate is for the remaining balance. And if you continue to just make that minimum payment each month, that balance will continue to grow and grow over time, and you will be paying interest on that full balance. So not just on the prior month's purchases, but it will continue to add up. So whatever you put on that credit card, you will be paying interest for that amount if you pay after the statement due date. And that's why people end up paying a lot in credit card interest, because they continue to spend on their credit card, but only make that minimum payment. So they are continuing to pay interest on previous purchases, which could be a year ago or 2 years or however long. So it's really important that we pay off that statement balance in full each month. All right, now that we know how a credit card works, let's talk about how to use that credit card to achieve financial freedom even faster. First off, when you are getting a credit card, I like to look for one that has a sign-up bonus. And they'll usually have some type of requirement to get that bonus. So for example, they may have you spend $1,000 within the first 3 months of opening your credit card, and then you could get a $150 bonus or something like that. But if you look for one that has that sign-up bonus, then you can put that money toward your financial freedom fund. And going along with bonuses, some of them actually have a referral bonus. So if you really like one of your credit cards, which I like one of mine, which I'll be sharing with you later, they will offer a referral bonus if you have someone else that you can refer that credit card to, and then they end up signing up and getting approved for the credit card. Then you'll receive some sort of reward for that. And this next part that I want to talk to you about is the most important part. And this is using your credit card for every single purchase that you can. I remember going to dinner with a group of friends a while ago, quite a while ago, years ago, and one of my friends had used his credit card and he had seen me use my debit card, and he had mentioned that he uses his credit card for all of his purchases because why not? It offers a cashback bonus. So he put every single purchase he possibly could on his credit card to receive that cash back. And that's the next part of using credit cards to get to financial freedom quicker, is by choosing a credit card that has cash back or reward points or even miles if you like to travel a lot. It just depends on your preference. But you find one that has a really good cashback system that works well for you. And that way you are getting paid something to use your credit card. And of course, you don't want to be spending more than you normally would just because you have a credit card and you're not using cash to pay for everything. But if you are already spending that money, then why not put it on a credit card so you can earn as many cashback rewards as possible? And ever since going to dinner with that friend, I have been putting everything possible on my credit card. And by doing that, I have earned hundreds and hundreds of dollars each year in cashback rewards. Which means, since I'm earning that extra money just by using a credit card instead of a debit card, I can put that money toward my financial freedom fund. And with that cash back, most credit cards offer a statement reduction, so you can actually just pay down your statement balance with those reward points or that cash back. The next item I want to bring up about credit cards is that they have really good protection against fraud. And I've had this happen to me on my credit card. There was an unauthorized transaction somehow on my credit card, and the credit card company had actually called me and said, "We noticed this charge," I think it was in Florida and I live in Utah, and they had noticed this charge on my credit card, and so they had called and said, "Oh, was this you or was it not?" And I just had to press 1 or 2 and say, yes, it was, or no, it wasn't. And then they took care of everything. I said, it wasn't me. And they immediately removed that charge and sent me out a new card. So it was a very seamless process. And when you use a debit card and there's fraud on your debit card, they can actually freeze your entire account. So you can't access your money, which is really scary to me. So that's just another reason that I like using credit cards. There's extra protection there and you don't have your accounts frozen. And since it is so seamless to take care of, you're not wasting any time calling your bank, asking what happened and asking them to unfreeze your account and then telling you, oh, call us back in a few days. We don't know if this has been authorized or whatever. It's a lot simpler and a lot quicker, so you can actually spend your time on something more meaningful, maybe researching your next investment to put you closer to financial freedom. And like I mentioned earlier, if you do like to travel, I personally love to travel, then I would look for a credit card that does not have a foreign transaction fee. Usually with a debit card or even some credit cards, they charge a foreign transaction fee. So if you're traveling and you need to use your card in another country, then they charge you an extra fee in order to do that. So I would look for a credit card that does not charge a foreign transaction fee if you are traveling out of the country a lot. And that way you are saving money, essentially, which you can put toward your financial freedom fund. And most credit cards will offer an insurance policy on drivers. So if you're getting a rental car somewhere, usually they will ask, oh, do you want to add insurance to your rental policy? And you can say no if you've used your credit card to purchase that rental car, because that insurance is actually on your credit card. You don't need to pay that extra insurance cost. So again, you're saving money and you can put that toward your financial freedom fund. And I would look for a credit card that does not charge an annual fee. You don't want to be paying extra for a credit card. And yes, sometimes it may be worth it to you to have a credit card with an annual fee, depending on what it includes and what you would spend your money on. So if you are flying a lot and you get free access to the VIP lounge and you would normally pay for that, then maybe it would be worth it. But I would say for most people, look for a credit card that does not have an annual fee, because there are a ton out there. And this way, instead of paying that annual fee, you could put that money toward, guess where? Toward your financial freedom fund. And the last thing that I want to bring up about credit cards is that when you are using a credit card correctly, you can really build up your credit score, which in turn means that you can purchase very large purchases like a home or even a car with a lower interest rate, because the higher your credit score, then the lower interest rate you are going to get on those larger purchases, which is really important, especially if you are taking out a loan on a 30-year mortgage. You want to have the lowest rate possible, because if you're going to pay that off over 30 years, you don't want to pay a higher interest rate over that amount of time, because that will be a huge amount. Even with a really low interest rate, you are still paying a ton amount of interest. And I do actually have another video about how to increase your credit score, so I will leave a link above and below in the description, and you can check that video out after this video is over. But just a couple of things about building up your credit score with a credit card. You don't want to open too many credit cards at once, because the creditors will look at that and think, oh, they might be doing something risky if they are applying for a lot of credit cards at once. You also don't want to max out your credit card. You don't want to spend the maximum limit that you can, because that's going to lower your credit score. The recommended amount is 30%. So if you have a $10,000 limit on your credit card, then you could spend up to $3,000 and still be okay. But the lower the balance on the credit card, the higher the credit score can increase. And you never want to carry a balance. You never want to pay credit card interest. And some people have actually said, oh, in order to build your credit score, you have to pay credit card interest. That is not true. I've never paid credit card interest, and I have a really high credit score. So not true. You never have to pay credit card interest. So do not carry a balance on your credit cards. The only time I have done that is when I have a 0% interest rate on my credit card. And that's another thing to look for on credit cards when you are searching for one. Look for one that does have a 0% interest rate, especially if you are going to make a large purchase. Then you will have more time to pay that off. But I would honestly say, do not make a purchase that you cannot pay off in full. When I personally had signed up for a new credit card that had a 0% interest rate for, I think it was 12 months or 15 months, I can't remember exactly. I had finished my basement and put part of that payment on my credit card and paid it off over the next few months, which was totally fine because it was a 0% interest rate. And it was completely paid off before the regular interest rate took effect. So I did not pay any interest on my credit card. And just one more little tip for you about using credit cards. If you are looking to increase your credit score, if you know you're going to be buying a house soon and you want the highest credit score possible, then pay off your credit card in full before the statement closing date. Because when the statement closing date happens, that's when they report it to the credit card bureaus. So if you've paid off that balance in full, that means your credit score will be a little bit higher. So that's just one quick little tip for you. And now I want to talk about my personal favorite credit card right now, and that is the Capital One Quicksilver credit card. And I just want to go through a few of the benefits of this credit card, and then actually only one con of this credit card. So if you are looking for a great credit card to get, I will leave a referral link below in the description, and you can click on that to sign up for the Capital One Quicksilver credit cards. I do have other credit cards that I still use, which I did a video about all those different credit cards earlier, so I will leave a link above and below in the description, and you can check out that video later. First off, the Capital One Quicksilver card offers 1.5% cash back on all of your purchases. And a lot of credit cards offer just 1% cash back on everyday purchases, and then they'll have rotating categories, which they'll offer a higher percentage cash back. But I like just having the 1.5% cash back on everything, and there's absolutely no limit, so you can spend as much as you want to on your credit card and still always get that cash back reward. And they do offer different ways to receive that cashback reward, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but you can just have a credit on your statement, so it pays down the balance on your credit card, or you can even get a check mailed to you, or you have access to different gift cards you could purchase. You could even have it automated and just get that cash back when it reaches a certain dollar amount, or even just a certain time every year. Also, they offer that sign-up bonus, and if you do want to sign up and use my referral link, then you get a $200 cashback bonus when you spend $500 within 3 months, which I feel like is very reasonable, $500 in 3 months. And they do offer that 0% interest rate for 15 months. which is amazing if you are planning to make a very large purchase. After that, the interest rate will increase from 0% to 15.49%, all the way up to 25.49%, depending on your credit history. They also let you transfer balances, and there's no transfer fee, which is amazing. So if you did have a balance on another credit card, you could transfer that over to Capital One and use that 0% introductory interest rate and pay that off before that 15 months is up, so that you aren't paying interest on whatever amount you have on your credit card. And going along with that, I don't recommend trying to find a new credit card all of the time with a 0% interest rate and just continuing to carry a balance. We really need to pay off our debts so that we don't have to worry about things like that, but we can actually use them to our advantage. Also, Capital One Quicksilver does not charge an annual fee. Another little secret, a lot of people don't know this, you can add someone else to your credit card. You can authorize them to use your credit card, and that will increase their credit score. So if you have a spouse that doesn't have the best credit, you can add them to your credit card and help increase their credit score. Or maybe you have a child that doesn't have that much credit history, you could add them to your credit card and help boost their credit score, just if you wanted to. It's also a Visa credit card, which is accepted pretty much everywhere. They do not charge a foreign transaction fee. They also have a complimentary concierge service, so if you want a little extra service, they do have that option. They have an extended warranty, so some purchases that you make, maybe if you're buying a fridge or something like that, then you would want an extended warranty. They offer that free of charge on eligible purchases. They have 24-hour travel assistance. So if your credit card does get lost or stolen, they can send you an immediate replacement. They do offer travel accident insurance if, heaven forbid, something were to happen while you were on vacation. And if you want instant notifications, they can send you a notification every time a purchase is made, so you can stay on top of every purchase that's being made. If you did give access to your spouse or a child, you would know immediately when they made a purchase, or if there was fraudulent activity, then you would know immediately if that were to happen. They also have a cool shopping tool that you can just turn on, and it will look for coupon codes for anything that you're purchasing online. You can also use those rewards that we talked about earlier to make a purchase on Amazon. So if you have cashback rewards that you've stored up in your account, then you can say, oh, just apply that to my Amazon purchase. So that makes it really convenient. And if you like to use PayPal when making a purchase online, then you can also attach your credit card to PayPal to make the purchase. The only con that I have about this credit card, and it's not even that big of a deal, but if you do have a cashback reward that you want to use to credit your statement to lower your balance on your credit card, it does not go toward your minimum payment that's due, which isn't a big deal for me because I pay off my credit card in full each month anyway. But just be aware, if you wanted to use one of those cashback rewards, that it will not go toward your minimum payment that's due. So all in all, so many benefits, and one small con if you're even worried about that. But we shouldn't be, because we're paying off our balance in full anyway each month. And if you like all of these benefits of the Capital One Quicksilver card, I will leave my referral link below in the description, and you can click on that to get your $200 sign-up bonus if you spend $500 within the first 3 months. And hopefully you found this video helpful and you got some ideas on what you should be looking for when you are looking for a new credit card, and the different ways you can use a credit card to reach financial freedom even sooner. And if you did find this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information, and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.